Hello there, I am Lord Gob, the DM of the DC20 Lost Mines of Phandelver Homebrew campaign. This is episode 2 of the campaign. We'll go ahead and start off with introductions. Blakcat, do you mind going first?
I don't. I'm Blakcat. I'm playing Tonē Thröq. He's a warlock, level 1. And he made a pact with a dragon and can summon real blades based on his pact and then throw them at people.
Very nice. Jaku.
I am Jaku. I am playing Awake, the Sentient Slime barbarian, the squishy yet immovable and acidic wall, who wields 4 weapons for combat.
Mm-hmm. And I am RDM Lord Gob. Power Hungry. If you would introduce yourself.
I'm Power Hungry. I'm going to be the assistant GM today. I'm here to make the game go as smoothly as possible.
Okay. Samarand.
Hello, Samarand. I'm playing Mikaela Dawnax-Sklryb, half-elf, half-dragonborn rogue, who's a mercenary.
Hello, I am playing Spring, the beast-born squirrel ranger. He doesn't wear pants.
I remember last session you said
Ironically,
that he wears pants because it's a social requirement. Has that changed in between sessions?
I don't remember.
Brilliant.
The ironic thing is, Awake only wears pants.
Now, from what I understand of the recap, they're already on the road. Am I mistaken about that? Or they're about to be on the road?
About to be on the road, yeah. Okay.
Right. So they're no longer in society, therefore it's not a society norm. He can
I see. You know, that's fair. He is still with his traveling companions. But, that said, mentioning the recaps, I'm a little bit torn on how I should do this. Should I, as the DM, recap things and let you guys know what I thought was important from last session? Or should I let the players just be like, this is what happened, from my character's point of view? Should you guys recap or should I recap? Question. Just moving forward.
As you are the GM, and you are also recording this, you are trying to make sure the game is as fun for you, for the players, and your viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Your viewers are going to want to have the recap be as short as possible, while also explaining the details so that we can get right into the game. So you should recap it and just get it through.
Okay. Fair enough. So, during session 1, session 1 came at the end of you guys dealing with the siege of Neverwinter, being among the heroes of the day. You were recovering at a bar when you met Gun and Rockseeker, the very rich prospector. He hired all of you guys and gave you all some magic items after some good rolls. You discovered some lore about the general area and about your the person who may have caused the aurora, Nesnar, the one of Gundren's old associates, who was working last he knew to do something along the lines of summoning something from the Underdark. And you all got a bunch of gold from your for doing this, and you got a magic item. Following that, you guys were expected to leave the following evening. He's currently running to Phandelver, the town you're going to be escorting cargo to. He had to go early because he's concerned about something going amiss. And following that, you guys were left to have about a day or so of downtime to do anything that you would need to do before you were expected to leave. So, as you all are now leaving the beautiful manor and leaving the manor and discussing anything you'd want to discuss with each other before parting ways and deciding when to meet back up, You see Sildar and Gundren kind of take a pair of horses and leave like pretty much immediately after the meeting and leave town. And with that, what did you guys do?
Tony.
That's right. It seems like he's muted, so you can go first, Jaku.
Okay. As soon as he leaves, Awake chimes in with just like, if we head out tomorrow, I'm going to get some supplies ready. What about you? Want to come with me, Spring? I need to gather some medicinal herbs.
Spring.
Let's see. He just got a sack full of money, more than he normally ever has at once, so he would probably go visit his friend Enoch just to possibly get advice on what to do with such a lot of money.
Okay.
Right then. And in that case, I know. Okay, I have 30 gold. I think what I'm going to do first is like, how much did you say a basic healing pot costs?
2.
Okay.
So you could about
I
15
will
of them.
head over to a shop and buy 3 of them, so that puts me at 26.
Right.
Then I will put that in our potions document. Let me go ahead and
If you
open
have
up our
any,
resources.
if you have any further inventory managing you would like to do, feel free to put it in chat. We'll handle that later. Go.
Remember to open up and record your rolls, everyone.
All right. Tony, what is your character doing?
I'll go back to my house in the rich part of the city and make sure everything is good so I can leave.
Okay. Understood. And Samarand, what is your character doing?
Was Spring the one that wanted to make sure that all the carts were in check? Destroyer?
Yes, my out of character plans were to make sure the carts were good and disguised.
So you'd be joining him with that then?
Did you not say it in character?
No, he's kind of preoccupied with how much gold he was just given, so he's not thinking too hard right now.
So if Spring didn't say it in character, then Mikaela would just leave and do the downtime activities already did, and come back here the next day.
Right. Mikaela leaves to go do research. So, we'll start with Spring. So, as you leave this manor in the richer side of town and begin to head toward the outskirts, it has now been maybe a day and a half after the siege. There you can still see the aftermath of everything in the streets. Though surprisingly quickly, it seems that the actual like rubble and bodies and things have been cleared from the street, so it is walkable. There are still the signs of like damage and blood and whatnot that is left its mark. You glance around, you can see people that are in the streets, wailing or talking, trying to console each other. Some of them probably are just like drunkenly in a drunken stupor, not really sure what to do. But you have a purpose here. You are trying to, I imagine, distract yourself from all of this. You cling the bag of gold tight to your chest as you just close your eyes and head to your friend Enoch the Butcher. Make me an awareness check, please.
Will do. Awareness, cool.
All right. Yeah. Fun dogs. So.
That's not me.
Yes, I know. That's me. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay, so Spring, as you are heading toward your friend Enoch the Butcher, you're heading toward the outskirts of town. He lives especially close to the wall. You checked in with him the other day just to let him know that you're going to be out of town for a while. But as you approach the stall this time, you see your friend, this giant-born man wearing animal skins with a massive butcher's blade at his side. He looks unusually deep in thought. You can see on his face just like a look of concern or something. He is thinking, and he seems to be looking at something either on or behind his desk when you approach. And then he kind of sees you and he snaps out of it, and he waves you over, and is like and says, "Hello there, Spring. Welcome once more to the butcher shop. What can I do for you?"
Well, I sent you a letter that I may be leaving soon, and I came to just say that it's not a maybe anymore. I've been hired to do a job that's going to take me out for a while.
You see, he kind of puts his hands together and like nods quietly, and then he says, "If you're going to be gone for a while, do you mind if I ask where you're going?"
I'm gonna escort a cart for this fancy person. And he blanks on the name for a moment.
You as a player would know the town's name is Phandelver, and presuming that you say that after a second of thinking, you would see Enoch kind of light up for a second and say, if you're going that far out, may I make a request of you, also, as you were leaving?
Sure.
I've called on you a number of times to deal with threats to the forest and the plains and the ecosystem around us. More often than not, the problem has been wolves, as you would know. But there's something that's been unnatural recently, even more so with this aurora that happened. I'm concerned that there might be something going on with the wolf population. In recent months, they have required you to go and hunt them more than usual. But also, have you heard the rumors? I don't know if you've heard the rumors, but there are new, different kinds of wolves. They seem to be evolving, morphing, changing in a way that is unnatural and extremely rapid. They're typically found at night. They are called, I have dubbed them gamma wolves, i.e. radiation. And, what happened last time there was a new species of wolf discovered. It was not a good experience. So, I'm concerned about these things.
Spring puts a hand on his midsection and winces in memory.
You see Enoch kind of, again, nod to acknowledge what the movement. Though it is very strongly against my nature to request that you exterminate a species, I am concerned for the balance of nature that is going to be upset with their introduction. Should you come across any of these so-called gamma wolves, I would request that you put them down. And for every pelt that you bring me, I will reward you in some way. Is that...
Spring nods and just kind of raises an eyebrow. These gamma wolves are about the same as the last one, or worse?
See, that's the thing. They are currently an unknown threat that are changing rapidly. And furthermore, they're dividing an interesting thing that I've noticed is they seem to be dividing wolf packs themselves, almost like pseudo alphas, though they don't fulfill nearly the same role as a normal one would. It's bizarre. This whole situation we're in right now is bizarre. But no, I don't think they're as dangerous. But they pose the risk to become such. They pose the risk to become as dangerous as it is.
Spring will nod and say, sure, I'll do what I can. I'm probably going to tell the group that I'm with to help then.
He nods.
I noticed that the areas around the shop are pretty damaged. How are repairs going?
You see him kind of smile and say, "It is strange, actually, but my store was surprisingly undamaged by the attack itself. I suspect perhaps that the smell of meat coming from inside would be attractive to such monsters that besieged us, but oddly enough, they didn't even look my way."
Maybe something that was acting as a repellent.
Pumpkin, stop!
Maybe we should try work it out what it was and spread it around the city.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing more investigation into it. But yeah, should I find some way, I would definitely immediately jump on that opportunity.
He nods and then remembers the money in his arms. Oh, right. Look what that fancy man paid me just to take the job.
That is a hefty sum. This man must be very well off.
Yeah, I don't know how to spend so much.
Were you looking for advice then?
If you've got any, yeah, I'll certainly take it.
Well, if you're ever in need of weapons, it is always a good idea to have spares on hand. Potions are naturally going to be extremely important. I would get a stockpile of healing potions. You might want ones that enhance your agility or your stealth for your purposes. You might maybe even strength or defense. It could just be good to have different kinds of tools on hand for you if you are going to be heading so far. You might want to have something to repair a wagon or to cross a ravine or something. These are my thoughts.
Spring looks up at Enoch with glee at all these advice and just makes a very long mental note of everything he listed to go look at later.
And assuming from there the conversation begins to wind down, he would, shake your hand with his big giant hands and your tiny squirrel hands as the deal is made, and he would wish you well and pray that the balance of that you may work to preserve the balance of the ecosystem. And with that, I would assume that you would head over to begin doing shopping, right?
Yes.
All right. In that case, we shall now cut over to Tonē. What is your character spending this first day doing? Or this day of downtime doing? You mentioned that you were going to return to your home, but what specifically are you looking to find?
Looking to find. I don't know. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. But definitely want to make sure that everything's like locked up. No one's going to be breaking in. The shutters are all closed, and not that it looks like I'm gone, but that it looks like there's no way to get in and steal anything.
Mm-hmm.
Arm my magical traps and stuff.
I see. Quick question. I know we've spoken about your sister before. Have we decided that your sister is living with you or not?
We haven't decided.
Would you like to decide?
I don't know what to pick.
Okay then. I will say that for the sake of what's going on right now, we'll say that if your sister isn't living with you, then perhaps she is just staying with you for now. And
Okay.
so when you are returning home, make me. Also, let's also have you make me an awareness check. See what you are noticing on your way in. As you head from
Okay.
one well-off end of the city to another, you definitely the part of the city that you see is far less damaged by the siege than the part that Spring sees. And with an 8, perhaps it is that you are so narrow-minded and focused on making sure that all of your things are okay that you don't see much else. The city is nice and pristine as always, and you can see the rich traders of magic items that you deal with so often. They seem to be fretting about trying to get repairs done as quickly as possible. But when you arrive to your own home, it is a fairly spacious home, and knowing who you are, you have your ways to get around all of the traps and things that you have set up. You find inside, the equivalent of a dining room, your little sister. She is a petite woman. She is she's as accomplished as an adventurer. She's got the physical build and the skill with a blade that runs in your family. Blonde and red-eyed as you are. She is. It seems that when last you left your home, perhaps you'd forgotten about her. You were preoccupied, but she seems to be relieved when you come home today and are unharmed. You can see the signs of blood and battle scars on her, but she seems otherwise, mostly okay. As she's a deep sigh of relief and says, "Thank God, where were you?"
I'll chuckle and say, I've lined up a job. I'll be leaving soon.
You see, you're kind of just
Heading
like
down to.
Sorry,
Where are we going?
Phandelver.
We're heading down to
Phandelver.
somewhere.
Yes.
Phandelver. Phandelver.
For a
Oh.
split second, I thought you were legit asking in character. Your sister's just like, "Where are we going?"
You see her kind of like look a little bit surprised, and then like kind of roll her eyes a little bit. Well, you always did like to go. You always did like to, what is it? Fly the coop, stay far from the pack. Phandelver is quite a ways though. Just how long have you been gone?
I don't even know how far it is. So, a week? A month?
Pumpkin, come here.
What will it be? Hold up, do you think?
Go upstairs.
We're just going there and back again, that's all.
It takes 2 weeks to get there. He said we have to get there within 2 weeks anyway.
Oh, yeah, right. So, a month. Or so. Probably. Did Rob's mic die?
I
They
think
are currently
he's
muted.
He's dealing with his dogs.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to get the dogs locked up in their room so they don't bark anymore. So, you're correct. It is about a month of time. So, it's 2 weeks there. So, 2 weeks there, handling your business, and then 2 weeks back would be, give or take, a month. And when you say that, you see her kind of like look a little bit nervous as you say that. She says, well, I pray that this journey is as successful as the rest of your journeys. I'll probably be staying here for that time, though I might. I've heard of an interesting rumor about a pack of gnolls that has recently been established here further to the north. So I might be gone when you're back. But I am definitely going to miss you either way. And she thinks for a minute, and then says, "What are you actually doing, though?" That's quite a hefty sum to just be there and back.
It's just like a guarding mission. I never told you how much it was.
I'm assuming that you have your gold with you, right? That he gave you?
Oh, it's absolutely not visible.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Just a guard mission then. She shrugs. Well then,
Yeah, some rich
wish.
guy.
You see that she kind of like, when you say that, she kind of like chuckles a bit, and is like, "They are always so out of touch."
They are. I mean, it's not my typical mission, but it's paying very well, and we've got the heroes of the town all going. So.
Oh! I see. In that case, there was one that I wanted to speak with a bit. I forget her name. Was it he? There was that the ranger, I think he was. I met him recently on one of my excursions. I was hoping to thank him for some of the assistance that he provided me. But so if you do see him, she kind of like rifles through her bag. Give him this, and it just looks to be like a plain letter. Or I guess when you see him, I suppose.
Ranger. If I do, I will. Which isn't it? Does it have his name on it?
Yes.
Okay.
You know this is your compatriot Spring.
My compatriot's friend?
Compatriot Spring.
Oh, Spring, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll give it to him.
Thank you. Well then, after that, I imagine you guys have something of a chill discussion. You know, just catch up quickly. I imagine is your character in a rush?
I don't think so. We have 2 days or whatever, right?
You have like the rest of the evening and then the next morning until you have to leave. But yeah. So then, I imagine you guys spend the day together. You have a little bit of a just reminisce over stuff that's happening. You're going to be away for a while, both of you. So you talk and catch up. You share things. Make me an insight check.
Insight. What's my insight? Okay. In typical.
Yes, 100%. Your character does not read people. You may feel free to roll hero points at any time should you choose to. But should you not,
I don't know if I have any hero. Well, I do have hero points, so never mind. This might be something I would reroll.
Okay. Feel free to reroll. And hero points are hero points are a homebrew rule that we are using to avoid situations like this, given when characters do particularly heroic deeds.
If you've played Pathfinder 2e, you know hero points.
That said, at least you avoided the nat one, yeah? I will say, as you are having this conversation, you know your sister very well, so it makes sense that you'd be able to pick up some things from her, from her demeanor. You are very excited and perhaps a little bit preoccupied with the deadline that you've been given. But you do notice that the scar that she carries, this kind of like burn wound that goes like across her shoulder and then down her back, she seems to fidget with it, or like scratch at it more than she usually does, and it has been some time since the and it's not wound but scar. She seems to etch at it more than she usually does, though you are unsure of why. And should you not make any inquiry about it, she didn't mention it or anything. And after about a couple of hours, you would retire to bed. But what's up?
Assuming that I noticed it, I definitely would inquire about it.
Okay. What do you ask? What do you ask?
I guess I would just point out that she's scratching it more than usual. Like, what's up?
You see her kind of like sigh and then say, There's been something on my mind recently with this whole...
Hold up, I have to go for a second.
Okay.
Sorry.
In that case, we'll cut back to you when you get back. There's been something on my mind, she says, as the camera drifts away to someone else. We're gonna go with Jaku. Was your character just doing shopping, or is there something else you wanted to do after that?
Let me think for a second. I guess I will be... What are my trades? I don't really have anything in particular I need to do, so yeah, I was just doing some light shopping.
Right. In that case, we'll cut over to Mikaela. Was there anything that you needed to do before you left?
Thing that we didn't cover was just spending a night at the bar if any other player characters were there, or if not, we could skip that, and then just the next day, leaving and all.
In that case, we'll say that you meet up with Awake at the bar sometime after he's finished with his shopping. We'll see, you've been there for maybe like half an hour chatting with your friends or whatever. Does Mikaela get drunk?
No.
No, okay. Just sitting there being the one sober one.
As we're talking, you notice that like Awake doesn't really drink. He literally just opens the bottle and then just places it in his chest as it starts dissolving.
Slime consumption. Very yummy. Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you guys talk about?
So this Nesnar guy we have to go after. I do worry about Gundren. He doesn't seem the fighting type.
Apparently Nesnar is his old acquaintance. Didn't he say that?
I hope it.
He did say that.
Yeah, but if he really is causing that, there's definitely going to be a fight or something. That's what I've learned anyway. A lot of disagreements end in violence. Trust me, I know.
I was asking around about him, and I only found just not knowing about him and saying to stay away if he actually did cause Aurora. I wouldn't want to get in a fight with that guy.
I hope we don't have to either, but I feel like Gundren might, and he's probably going to die if he does.
What would Nesnar want with Gundren?
Gundren seems to want to stop him, doesn't he? If there's a... Fighting for the greater good is always, well, good, but it can end up getting people killed. That's what happened to my family anyway.
Your family?
How else do you think a random blue slime got human level intelligence? I used to be the pet of an adventuring group. Good times.
Oh,
Then
so
they
that's what
found a
you mean by
scroll.
family.
The mage found a scroll and gave me my life.
All right. What happened to them?
They
You
died.
leave? Hmm.
They were called. They were called to go fight a dragon. They died.
Why didn't you die?
I didn't go with them.
Coward?
Excuse you. I. I
Don't
was
worry, I do the
barely a.
same thing.
I was barely a month into sentience. Like this human form I take. This took time to develop. That was back when I was still a ball.
Oh. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know much about your type. I never really was educated in magic.
I'm not the most educated on it myself. I just know that I did. What was recovered of my family, I still keep on me this day. These weapons, they were theirs.
Hmm.
It's why I take careful. It's why they haven't been dissolving when they're inside me. I take careful precaution not to dissolve.
How does that work? Taking precaution not to dissolve something. Is it just a feeling?
Pretty much. If I don't want to dissolve something, I don't. Though if I do kind of forget, if I forget, I can start. It's really it's kind of a sixth sense, really. It's why I can touch you and you won't start burning.
Hmm.
And from there, the conversation it goes on for a while. You spend the remainder of your evening talking together, discussing things, chatting with friends that come in and go out. And as everyone as everyone kind of concludes with their day, you all sleep through the night. You have a nice sound sleep or sleep however and wherever that you normally would, with thoughts on your mind of the days to come. Perhaps some of you not mourning the loss, but not mourning your own losses, but mourning the general loss of life of the city around you. I imagine that some of you are excited at the prospects of adventuring to the city of Phandelver and the payday that you're expecting there to come. And I imagine that there would be a couple of you guys that are concerned, worried about the future and what it has to hold, wherein, adventuring is a dangerous business. You are going specifically to an area that is known to have raiders of all kinds. And so though it is an opportunity, it is also certainly a burden and a responsibility. But nonetheless, you all manage to fall asleep, and the next morning, as you all wake up, if you would conclude any final remarks you have to say to those you love, and with however that would go, you have your close moments, perhaps, and moments of held back tears as they wish you the best. And you all meet up at the location where you were required to. You find sitting there a couple of miners. They seem to be They seem to be not very well equipped. They've got pickaxes and stuff like that, and general equipment. And they're just kind of sitting around a 3-train wagon. Three-train wagon pulled by 2 oxen, and there's I imagine there might also be a carriage or something to the side of that for the people to just stay in to move quickly, as Gunrun is a man of means, and he requests that all of you guys head there quickly. So I know that Samarand, you had mentioned you want to mess with the carts, and Spring, you did also. Is there anything in specific that you guys would be doing?
The reason I said it was I thought Spring said his intention out loud.
Spring?
I guess then I'm the only one that initially starts this. So mostly Spring wants to reinforce wheels and things so that any big rocks and stuff can't break them and lead to ambushes and being stranded.
Okay.
Then secondary goal is to disguise it not as a escort type wagon and more of a food and stuff wagon, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Something that bandits would be less likely to target.
Okay.
Didn't you want us to also disguise ourselves, Spring? Or I think you said something about that.
I don't remember that, but it's a good plan.
I mean, I'm not sure how much I can actually do besides throwing a cloak over myself, but I'll try.
I would say you people would be of some renown in the city just for general adventuring things that you've been doing. So, by no means, like a famous hero, but you are pretty well known around your locales.
Yeah, recognizable, and depending on how many people have gone out of the city since that attack, bandits could be on the lookout for us.
Potentially. So, in that case, Spring, make me an agility crafting check. And if you don't have mastery, then just an agility check. And I guess anyone who is choosing to be disguised, make me a disguise check, since that's actually a thing, I think.
What type of check is that? I know it's a trade, but like what attribute?
I believe charisma. Agility or charisma.
Okay, more charisma in my mind because I'm just throwing a cloak over myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not proficient in the trade, so this is gonna fail, I'm sure. Oh, never mind.
Nothing but failures all around.
Oh right, gotta put that in the dice tracker. D20 and.
And Spring, let me know when you get your crafting check done.
Yep, I'm just working out the number for that.
It would be agility and then plus 2 if you have mastery. Otherwise, just agility. Awake, you look like a very convincing, roguish fellow. Your hoodie, your cloak is over you. Your face is down. Anyone that isn't paying much attention would not notice. Would not notice. And it would not notice the fact that you are a slime. Blakcat, I see you rolled. I'm assuming that's also for concealment. You're muted if you're talking. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, okay. Yeah. In that case, I'm gonna just wreck on the same thing. You two have draped over a cloak over you to hide your very what is it? Is ostentatious the right word? Ostentatious. Your pretentious armor and your bright yellow hair. You're like a sore thumb in a party of generally run-of-the-mill adventurers. So you put a cloak over yourself to be more inconspicuous. And Spring, you are extremely confident. As you're tinkering, you tighten bolts or whatever. And you make sure you grease the axles or anything that needs to be done, you do, and you are very confident in your ability. And we'll say as you're doing this, you notice that when you go to tinker with the middle cart and kind of just make sure that it's all okay, you feel almost like an aura or something that makes it hard for you to move your hands like much at all. So I mean, like you can still like do stuff, but it's like you feel like you have to like. It's almost if you were under like a lot of underwater pressure is the way that it would feel. It very strongly resists your motions. But with your crit on your tinker check, you feel the bandit is as the wagon is as strong as it could be, and will be at the very least withstand any bandit attack that could try to target it. But with that, presuming there's nothing else that anyone would like to do, I would like everybody to make me an awareness check, as all of you guys begin to travel. And Spring, since you are our resident ranger, make me a survival check to see how good you are at following the road.
Would this be in addition to the awareness, or
yes,
separate?
In addition.
Cool.
Hmm, 16, 17, 11, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, with all of those rolls, you guys feel very alert. Awake is naturally the one that is most on watch. As you are traveling, you spend the better part of a day leaving the walls of Neverwinter. You can see, now that you're outside, those of you who may not be as prolific of travelers, the shoreline is as beautiful as it could be, and, you know, you take a minute to bask in the beauty of the sea. As Neverwinter begins to shrink behind you, and we are going to move the X one day forward. Looking back as you begin to... hell yeah. Looking back at the city as it begins to disappear from view, you can still see bits of broken wall, homes that have been destroyed, and the kind of central spire of the city rising above all else, fairly untouched. You guys, with somber or excited thoughts, you guys take one last look at the city of Neverwinter before finally turning to the high road, and beginning your journey south. With a 20 you are definitely going to be... You know, you got a critical success. We're going to say that with your expert in navigation and ushering on of your allies, we're going to say you make more progress than you should have. Let's see, that's half a day, that's a day. Let's say you end up making it all the way there. And I'll zoom in on the player side also, or the viewer side. Covering about a day and a half travel, very quickly. Somebody roll me 2d8, please.
I will do it. Not /4/R. Le 2d8. 7 and a 1.
A 7 and a 1. Okay, one moment, please. Should be here. 7 and a 1. Okay. Interesting. Well, I need to find a way to... Two. Alright. So, during the first day of travel, the day is largely uneventful. You get a pretty good ways out from where you initially began. You spend most of the day traveling, and as the evening begins to fall, you all decide to make camp and awake. As everyone is setting up the encampment, you guys have pulled to the side of the road a little bit. You hear very faintly what sounds like the sound of like a very faint rain, like just like sprinkling or something. And glancing around, you see a herd of reindeer that are just like kind of casually just like passing by you guys. They look like kind of a little bit amorphous beings with bodies made entirely of water. They're known to roam around the coast. They're not like kind of hostile or anything, but they're just like generally passing by. You see a couple of them stopping and beginning to graze. But
Awake looks at them and, well, if he had a face, he would be smiling.
Nice.
He would just be watching them a little bit.
Okay. So, but yeah, other than that, your night is largely uneventful. There's just a herd of passing animals. I should have decided how we're going to do watches. But as the day ends, the next day, you guys have to do watches and whatnot. So, since there are 2 parts to a long rest, who is going to be supervising who's going to be on first watch?
I should be during the night watch since I have tremor sense. I don't have dark vision, but I do have tremor sense.
All right.
Unless anybody else has dark vision.
Double check. We out in the flat open. There's no trees nearby, right?
Yes. I mean, there might be like 1 or 2, but it's largely open plains.
Where is the closest tree to wherever we've set up the campfire?
I mean, if you wanted to set it up close to a tree, you could.
Yes, Spring would ask to go there so he can keep watch from the tree if he is chosen.
All right. So, in that case... Oh, I forgot to mention, since Mahina isn't here, we're going to say that her character did whatever backstory stuff she would need to do, and is currently just going to be like sleeping through the first 2 watches. Just passively, or like maybe with the miners defending them or something, I don't know. But her character is currently not an action, but not an action, but present. If no one has any preference, then we'll say Spring and Tonē, you guys could have first watch, and Wake and Mikaela could have second watch. Is that amicable to everybody?
That's fine by me, yes.
All right.
Very well.
Give me 1 moment. So as you guys are sitting on first watch, is there anything that you decide to talk about?
Before the players bring into that, one thing I would like to clarify for the viewers. Some people are going to be detail-oriented about it. So how many miners are they actually guarding on this trip?
I'm going to say that there are just as many miners as there are players, so there's 5 of them.
You all heard that, so don't come into the comments for this.
Very nice. Yeah. Is there anything that the 2 of you talk about during your watch, or is it mostly a silent watch?
Spring would not really have any topics to bring up, so unless something is brought up, he would be perfectly fine with a silent watch.
Yeah. What about you, Tonē?
Is Spring watching from the trees? We could use like light signals or something.
I mean, you guys are...
Spring is definitely up in the tree.
Very nice.
Because that's all I'm gonna be able to see is light. I'm not gonna be able to see if he's like moving or doing anything. So.
Well, I imagine he's like maybe 5 or 10 feet away from you. He's not that far away, and the trees aren't very tall.
The trees. Oh, all right.
But enough to be above. Okay.
I don't have any pressing questions for the squirrel.
Heresy.
then during Awake and Mikaela's watch, while he will bring up as he's like rooting through his pack, he'll bring up this strange arrowhead he found. But Hey, you have any idea what language is on this thing, by the way? I can't read it. And show the arrowhead in the strange language.
Okay, spring.
Make me. What languages do you know, Sam?
Oh, I thought you were talking to Spring.
No, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Elvish, Draconic, and Human trade languages.
Elvish,
I
Draconic.
totally
and
forgot about the
Human.
letter.
Elvish, Draconic, and Human. Make me an intelligence language check with double disadvantage.
Okay.
So that's 3d20s, take the lowest.
Can't wait for 3 nat 20s.
Woo! Okay. With the 3, as you look over it, you see, kind of as I believe I mentioned before, that, the language on the arrowhead seems to glow very faintly of grain. Seems to be like, some kind of strange ink. And there are... It looks like a word or something inscribed on both sides of the arrowhead, in some kind of... in a strange text that almost seems to, like, swirl, and... It swirls a lot and is made of concentric rings that kind of vary a little bit. It looks confusing. Like, you're not sure how you would read this even if you could, because you can't tell what... You couldn't follow each circle completely. It's weird.
I've never seen an effect like this.
Make me a history check.
Yeah, I don't know myself. I mostly just... I found this one after
18.
the attack.
Yeah, I can't read it. And she's about to throw it back.
All right. I guess next time I get the chance, I'll ask that. I'll ask the others about it. I just remembered it.
With an 18, you don't remember anything like this specific thing. Like, you've been on a variety of adventures before. But it does remind you of, like, enchanted weaponry. It's very common for people to write things on their weapons in, runic text or whatever kind of text, to enchant them in some way. You would guess, just based on the foreignness of this thing, that you're considerably experienced. Whatever this isn't common.
Something I'd like to do is the arrowhead is the arrowhead made of metal, wood, stone? What is it?
It is made of a material that is like metallic in some way, and it shines yellow. With my
blacksmithing trade, and I attempt to work that out.
Sure, make me an intelligence blacksmithing check.
Ooh, intelligence blacksmithing. Okay, so D20 plus 4. Wow.
Exciting.
Okay. I'm gonna hero point this.
All right.
Okay,
Nice.
that's much better.
Okay, with a 15, I'm gonna say that the way that you figure this out is you allow yourself to dissolve the material of it just a little bit, to kind of like licking it in a way to get the sense of the mechanical, or the physical thing that it is. And as you do so, you can't put an exact... It's weird. You're a blacksmith. You've worked with a lot of materials before. And you've even worked with, like, weird materials that, like, I imagine someone had come to you like, hey, can you make a sword out of this? And you're like, yeah, sure, why not? You're skilled at it. But, it feels... How do I describe this? It feels innately arcane in some way. And it feels like it's not just metal. It feels like almost, I don't want to say otherworldly, but definitely alien. And that
I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about the material myself either. Like, nothing nothing in Henry's books ever talked about that. Henry was was my family's blacksmith. I learned from him.
Well, perhaps you could find someone else that would figure it out.
Perhaps so.
Yeah,
Where did you find it?
it was around the site of the attack. Like when I was looking through my, I kind of forgot about it until I was looking through my pack.
Hmm. One of the Isselbacks had it, or perhaps just one of the guards.
This doesn't seem like something a guard would use. This metal is... Frankly, part of me thinks it's not even from this plane of existence. This is not iron, not steel. It looks like gold, but that's one of the softest metals out there. That simply doesn't work. It's one of the worst things to make arrows out of. Not to mention it's heavy too.
And this should be very, very light.
Like, my best guess is like, I've heard tales about some mythical metals, like, but I've never seen them in person. Like,
Well,
maybe this well, like one metal I've only heard about in books was something called mithril, but I doubt that. I don't think this is that. Could be.
Wait, how can Awake read?
Perhaps.
Can he read?
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't
would
have
assume
eyes.
so.
He doesn't have eyes. He goes to tremor sense.
Well, seeing that I can see more than 3 spaces around me, I somehow have eyes. I just don't.
You
Okay,
can feel
okay.
the chemical difference between the ink and the page.
Amazing. In order for Awake to read a book, he has to consume it. Brilliant. Okay.
Like, that's the closest. Like, and that's just a shot in the dark. It could be mithril, but I doubt it.
Well, I'm definitely very interested. I'll help you figure it out.
I'm kind of considering like if it wasn't if I wanted it. Okay, let me get my thoughts straight. Oh my god, I'm stuttering. If I wasn't interested in what's actually written on it, I'd start melting it down, but actually I'm not even sure I could.
Maybe you shouldn't even try.
It would be irreversibly damaged should you try to do that.
Oh yeah, no, but he's not gonna do it anyway. Oh well, I thought you might know. Spring might. I have a feeling. I'm feeling that Tony guy knows more than he lets on as well.
Alright.
Yeah. I'm not the one you should ask for knowledge.
And with that, your
I know
conversation.
very little.
With that, your conversation starts to die down as you continue to talk away either about this or other things. The night begins to pass as you all feel well rested. Is now once again early morning. Your compatriots begin to wake up with the light of the sun, and you begin to get moving once more. I guess I should have asked this before, but is there anything that anyone would be trying to do, just kind of casually as you're traveling?
Mm-hmm. If we run across any, if we
Oh, your mic is lost.
pick those up, like since I have herbalism mastery.
Okay. I missed the beginning of what you said. You said you'd be looking for healing herbs.
Like if we find any wild herbs along the way, especially the medicinal ones, I'd be trying to collect them. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, should I make an herbalism check?
Yeah, sure. And that'll represent your the ability of your gathering throughout the entirety of the travel.
All right. So that's a 18 for a total of 22.
22. Okay. Hell yeah.
Spring would probably just keep an eye out for more interesting creatures like the reindeer.
Okay. In that case, make me a survival check, Spring. And assuming that there's nothing else, we'll continue
Mikaela
with
would, while traveling, Mikaela's main thing would just be talking to the miners and the rest of the party. Trying to learn more about the place, trying to get closer to them.
So,
Sure.
wait, I forget what you said. Did I get like any items, or do I just what?
I'll resolve it in a
You're gonna get back to
second.
me later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sam, can you make me an influence check? See
Yes.
how close you get with them. Very nice. Okay. And assuming that Tony, are you back yet or no? Or are you? I see that you are muted. So.
I am back.
Okay, epic. So then, I'm also going to assume that you have nothing that you would like to do, right?
Nothing in particular.
Okay. In that case, 22, 10, 17. Awake, I will say that as you are traveling, we'll say when you get to the, 22 is a pretty high roll. How hard is it to make potions? Do you have the alchemy skill, Awake?
I have alchemy and herbalism. Yes.
Oh, hell yeah. Make me an alchemy check. And we'll say this one will be, eased by your better success than the previous check.
Oh,
Hell
21.
yeah. 22 and a 21. We'll say that every fourth hex that we get to, so if that's 1 hex, 2 hex, 3 hex, 4 hex. So here, and then here, and then here, and upon arrival you get 1 extra healing potion. Because those are some very nice things. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, since we don't have an actual healer, I just thought may as well try to use my alchemy to the best of my ability.
Yes, a very good decision indeed. Sure. That said, due to that, Spring with your 10, keeping an eye out for any other interesting creatures. Along the way, as you were traveling, there are a couple of other different kinds of creatures you would have just found out about. There is a creature that you've hunted a couple times called the burrow bit. They're rabbits, but they dig very fast, and are known to cause what's the word, sinkholes to happen if there's too many of them in one place. And also a creature called an auroch, which are very heavy rocky boulder like bison or whatever. That they tend to be docile, but they do not. They're very cautious and are likely to stampede. And so those are general facts that you would know or find out about or observe.
Once he spots a few, I think you call them drobits?
Burrow bit. I'll put it in the chat.
Burrow bits. Once he spots a few of those, he will jump up into the air and hover to just check their path ahead for any likely sinkholes to let the drivers know to avoid them.
Amazing. That is a good idea. That said, everyone, can you please make me an awareness check? And Spring, since you're the one doing this, make me a survival check. And you can roll me the 2d8 this time for your next encounter. As you begin to travel along the road.
The fact that I'm rolling this high scares me because when it comes to actual combat, I'm going to roll like crap.
I am so excited to beat on the slime.
I know, right?
Considering what happened yesterday in the wizard one-shot, I know when it comes to combat, I'm going to do awfully.
Amazing. $11. Ha! Fortuitous. Okay. Let me go ahead and go here. Just check where we are. Oh, these aren't overlaid. Right. Yeah, alright. So, survival, and what was your... Okay, 17. So, for survival, that is definitely passing the very easy DC, of your survival checks. So, you will progress. Another, with a 17, we'll go, about a day and a half, from your traveling. And as you all are staying very awake, vigilant, paying attention to what's going on, you guys notice... let me go ahead and prepare the map. But you guys notice that there is very conspicuously hidden, like, how many would this be, actually? Very conspicuously hidden. There is a single goblin who is, like, hiding behind a tree, and he's just, like, generally looking out. They don't seem to be very well armed. They're just, like, seem to be almost, like, cautious. But they're just kind of looking around, being shifty. He seems to be, have a short sword with him, but does not seem otherwise hostile. Do you choose to do anything?
Could you remind me what conspicuous means? Badly or good, but we spotted them anyway?
What?
You said the goblin was conspicuously hidden?
Yes, like he...
Conspicuous means very obvious, like cartoon style.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
behind
correct.
a pole and you can't see my butt sticking out.
Exactly.
Right. He's obviously trying to hide, but doing a terrible job.
Yeah.
Got it. I just don't use that word very commonly, so I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah, conspicuous good, no, I had that backwards. Conspicuous bad, inconspicuous good.
Yes. So he is very poorly hidden, attempting to hide behind a tree by the side of the road. And he does seem to be vigilant. You wave at the goblin. Okay. Amazing. You wave at the goblin. When you do that, you see the goblin kind of look around like, what? And then he looks at you, and then just, like, panics for a second and starts booking it away from you guys. Just terrified.
We should chase after that, shouldn't we?
Who knows?
It was just one. Do we have to?
Well, you know the saying. There's a saying my mentor taught me. When there's one goblin, there's 20. He called he called them an infestation.
Can I look around to see if there is any spots on our path where they could be trying to hide and ambush us from?
Definitely not nearby. The area that you're at is very flat, very open. There's, like, barely any bushes at all. It is just plain grassland as far as the eye can see.
What
He
about
just seems
in
to be
the
running in a
direction
random...
the goblin ran?
He just seems to be following the road. Just following the road, terrified of you guys. Did not expect to get spotted. He's just going, like...
Is he running? Is he running back the way we came?
Further ahead of you.
So, like, how are we not catching him in our wagons?
Well, I imagine you guys aren't going top speed. You know, you're hustling, but you're not, like, booking it. Goblins are very fast little critters.
Mikaela would tell the party what she learned about the rumors of the Cragmaw goblins being very vicious in the Triboard Trail area. So at the crossroads, and maybe it would be a good idea to catch this guy before he warns the other goblins of our coming.
Yeah, in that case, stop the cart. Keep an eye on it. We'll go get the rest. We'll take out that goblin, I should say.
Okay. Mahina volunteers to protect the miners, and stay with the cart. And I presume that the four of you then would charge forth. Is that correct?
Since Tony seems to have a plan, Spring would ask him, "Do you want me to go catch it and stop it?"
I think we probably should. I'm still
At the
baffled
very
at why Mikaela. I'm still baffled at why Mikaela waved at it instead of whatever, knowing that it's the dangerous goblins.
We have to at least stop it. We may not have to kill it, but we can stop them.
True.
Spring would like to then get down into a sprinter position and sprint past and cut off the goblin.
Are you squirrel running?
That's a good idea.
Alright. In that case,
please tell me you're running on all fours.
I'm not entirely sure how fast they are on all fours, but for now, let's go no.
Yeah, I have a move speed of 6 if that's relevant, because barbarian.
I have bolas.
he's more than
good idea.
Cool.
He is probably barely in the range of a bow. He's not very close to you guys.
I have a bow.
You could probably snipe him down if you felt so inclined. But it does seem like you want to catch him rather. So Spring, make me an agility check with advantage because you are way faster than he is.
You're saying you can catch him dead.
You could, but you would not get any information out of him should you try to catch him dead.
Did you say straight agility, not...
Yep. Straight agility. Acrobatics is for jumping. Yeah. Very nice. You guys watch as Spring shoots off like a missile as fast as an arrow, as the goblin is running as fast as he can. I imagine like Spring just like casually strides up beside him and is like, "Hey there!" He's like, "Ah!" And he freaks out, like falls on his ass, and he's like pulls out his short sword and is like waving it, panics in the air. As you catch up to him, what do you do?
Spring will take out his own bowler that supported him and try and just wrap them up while the rest catch up.
All right, make me an attack check against this guy as you attempt to. As he falls down and you're close beside him. You get out your bola and he's like panicking, waving his short sword at you, and then he like looks around and then stands up and charges and says, "For glory!" As he charges forward and attempts to stab you with his short sword.
I just need to double check what my bowlers have special wise.
You can just
have any extra bonuses.
Just make an attack check. Nothing would be relevant here.
Yeah, thought so.
Yep. He rolls a 3. As he charges forth and attempts to stab you with his sword, I imagine you just like throw it like the bull tamers or whatever. Like you sort of bowl beside you and wrap it around him. And he's like, "Ah, take it!" And you wrap it tightly, and he's like struggling, trying to cut at it with his net.
Spring definitely sidesteps and just lassos the bowler around.
He growls and snarls at you. He's attempting to cut with a short sword and it's not working. Just see if he hits this thing. He does attempt to cut open the bola. Control F, bola. As you were there. As he attempts to cut out, I would imagine that you... would you try to stop him from cutting out? If so, how?
I would definitely like to try. He's gonna quickly pull out a dagger of his own and just quickly use the parry maneuver that I think I have. Yes,
Hell yeah.
It's not a weapon maneuver, it's a general one, so I've got it.
Okay. Cool. Well, we'll say as he attempts to like cut out with the knife, with his dagger, with his short sword, which is honestly probably as big as your dagger because he's a tiny goblin. You're able to just like put it between the net and the blade, and you're just like fighting with him. And you, as the rest of the party, you guys arrive. Are you on foot or with the cart when you arrive?
I think Awake would definitely be on foot because he can keep I can keep the goblin pinned.
Unless anyone is going to say that they're on the cart, I will assume that everybody's on foot. As you guys all begin to approach, you see the goblin kind of just like feral, like a cat in a bag, just like thrashing about, trying to fight with a sword. And Spring is just like kind of constantly trying not to hurt it or him or the net. He's just like wrestling with it and the dagger until eventually he manages to wrest the short sword away. Sorry.
I'm going to immediately grapple him, so I just slightly engulf him, or try to anyway while he's down.
I'll say he's grappled restrained. You have him internet. It's not hard. You see that when you touch his skin, he screams with the most high-pitched and like ear-piercing scream.
Wait a minute! I just realized something. It doesn't say in the rules that I can do this, but I'm assuming you'll let me. Am I allowed to turn off my hazardous hide when I want it?
Yeah, obviously. We've established that.
Okay, yeah. I knew I could do it flavor-wise, but I couldn't recall.
Yes.
You also want to stop him from screaming too much.
Well, luckily the jelly of the slime person will make him gobble.
Yeah.
Do you just put your hand in his throat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You see that as you do that, he's like utterly horrified as he grasps at his throat. He's trying to do something, and you guys struggle with him for a little bit before he kind of starts to calm down. And you now have a goblin in a net who's kind of in a very uncomfortable position, just on the side of the road, just glaring at you guys, not making any noise. Every time he does, he knows that Awake attempts to suffocate him, as he's just he sits there and he glares at you, and he says, "You will rue the day that you crossed me."
Probably should have asked this earlier, but do we understand them? Are they speaking common or something?
I would say they're speaking a broken form of common. You rue day that crossed me, or something like that. So you can understand part of the words that he's saying, not all of them.
Yeah. Spring will then turn to Mikaela and, well, what did you want to do with it?
Me?
You're the one who waved at it. Do you talk goblin?
No. I was simply hoping it would just ignore us. But it seemed it wanted to warn its friends instead.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do here. Should I just if you want me to get gruesome with this, you may want to look away if you don't like the gore. But I can start the process of digesting. I probably shouldn't, but I'm not sure what to do here. I don't exactly like digesting people unless I have to, but
He did threaten us.
Prefer it if you didn't do that. Yes. Spring looks visibly uncomfortable with melting the goblin with your acid ooze.
Alright then, I'll just keep him here. He is mostly engulfed at this point. Basically, the only thing out is the head. Out of my 5 limbs, I'm using 4 of them to keep this guy grappled.
You guys watch as
question
much
for
as
the
Have any
viewers.
ideas?
Are you still able to move while you're with that one last appendage? Can you just kind of inch forward like true slime?
amazing.
Yeah,
So
I
are you
have
just
because I have secondary arm and prehensile appendage, I have 5 limbs capable of grappling. So I'm just that's not even including my legs. So I can move.
So then, question for the viewers: Do you have something like spider climb where you can go up the side of the wagon and just kind of like slowly inch your stuff into it, so that people can just keep walking you?
Unfortunately, I don't. Like, for the viewers, the way DC20 handles ancestry is you have a pool of points that you use to basically choose the traits you want. I ended up grabbing a second pair of arms, a second like a limb specifically for grappling that can't really work like a hand. Basically, think of Thryq mixed with a tail if you're from 5e.
Hell yeah.
And I to represent my slime powers, and I also took hazardous hide to deal acid damage whenever I have people grappled.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how DC20 handles ancestry. I could have taken spider climb if I took more negative points, but I chose not to.
But anyway, after a little bit of confusion, not sure really what to do with the goblin, are you guys just gonna take him with you? Just adopt the goblin? You gonna leave him tied up? Or you gonna
maybe not
discard him?
Adopt, but I currently don't see a problem with bringing it with.
Okay.
Mikaela would
Well, I
offer.
mean, we could probably use this as leverage with their if we run across the goblins we've been warned about along the way.
That is true.
And again, are goblins selfish or kind of, or do they go for like or is goblin society generally like kind of for everyone benefits kind of? That could really change. That could really change how this works.
This would probably be a history check for the DM to answer that.
I don't think you guys would know that. Like, at all. Unless you think of... Well, I guess, no, you used to live in a monster dungeon. So, yeah, sure, you can make me a history check. Wait, sorry.
Okay, good old +2/RD. +2.
In your experience, it seemed like the particular goblins that were in and around your dungeon were... they seem to be more cutthroat. Everyone is out for themselves and coincidentally together. As opposed to, like... what is it? What's that? Hive mind? As opposed to being a hive mind, it was like everyone was out for themselves, but not hurting anyone else. Kind of like a begrudged alliance.
So they might not care that we have a hostage. Okay.
Based on your experience, that's what you would say.
Yeah, like in my own experience, goblins don't tend to care if you have a hostage or not. Some might be willing to take this, but I don't know. I mean, how about this? I look at the goblin, just like...
Still absolutely terrified of you, not saying anything, and just, like, breathing heavily.
If I let you go, are you gonna run and tell your friends?
Make me an intimidation check.
Alright.
Just probably positioning question. Does Awake extend his head and dip it down in front of the goblin? Or do you flip the goblin around in your body to look up at you?
He's probably flipping it around to look up at me.
Oh my god. Yeah, with a 21, you see it, like, just shake his head very, very, very vigorously. Eyes wide, fully, like, you can feel its heartbeat, like, palpitating in your hands.
Then in that case, I will keep my word, and I will release the grapple. All four of them.
All 4 grapples, yes, very nice. The goblin still breathes heavily, and is going to have to very slowly claw its way out of the net. And assuming that you don't stop it, is going to very quietly walk away from the group, and with its hands up, and just head toward the forest. As opposed to going this way, not going that way.
Yes. Spring will slowly help it get out of his bowler.
Okay. Whoever wants to take its short sword can add bad goblin short sword to your inventory. It looks to be very crudely made and very jagged. as the goblin is terrified and begins to wander off. And as soon as it's kind of like out of earshot, it starts running as fast as it can, just away.
Yeah, basically, to be like, she essentially just saw this giant guy in a cloak run up, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's engulfing me.
Yes.
That's not something you probably ever saw before.
Probably not. Now that I think about it, didn't you just you just waterboarded the poor goblin for no reason?
So
oh my God.
I left his head.
Mm-hmm.
He could breathe. Oh well, to be fair, I did kind of have to gag him a bit. Okay. Bad goblin.
The goblin could nose breathe.
Okay. Yeah, the goblin runs away terrified of you guys. As the cart kind of starts to catch up with you guys. You continue to do your traveling. Should there be any discussion, there is. Who? So what is your marching order here? In terms of the party, there's 2 oxen that can be driven. There's the cart with all the miners that needs someone to steer it. And you could stand in or around you could ride the cart or be around the cart. And there are 3 individual pack parts of the wagon train. So what's the marching order? What's it look like?
Spring would definitely try stay close to the wheel that had that aura, just to try work out if it did anything extra as they walk.
Yeah, Awake as the front line will probably be at the front, of course. Just
Yeah, Tony's gonna be up high, looking out at the front.
as we get back on the road, Awake just chimes in with just like, yeah, well, I'm glad I didn't have to do that to him. I'm willing to do it if something threatens our life, but I don't exactly like completely absorbing people. I'll use it to hurt them if need be. But their screams, yeah, they aren't good.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. It seems uncomfortable to listen to them being digested.
And Awake probably notices that Spring looks almost like they feel the exact same way as whoever you would be engulfing as you talk about it.
I take it you've been inside another slime before, but judging by that look.
God.
No, not a slime.
Yeah, it's I see why I understand why mages don't want us sentient.
Yes, 100%. Do not let the slimes become sentient. Never ever.
They start regretting what they did.
Alright. We are at about the halfway point. So, I'm gonna take a break to go pray. When we come back, we'll continue. Is everybody good on time? Hello, audience. We are back now. Actually, you know what? Never mind.